Hi everybody, Emmy here with the Graveyard Shift Talk Show.
Everybody's going to the graveyard shift. This is what you want to do. Everybody's going to the graveyard shift. See what Emmy's got in store for you. Pop culture fandom, talking with celebrities, funny facts and fun giveaways. Anime and gaming, science fiction movies, ghost hunting, it's on today. Everybody's going to the graveyard shift. This is what you want to do. Everybody's going to the graveyard shift. See what Emmy's got in store for you. Everybody's going to the graveyard shift. This is what you want to do. Everybody's going to the graveyard shift. See what Emmy's got in store for you. Everybody's going to the graveyard shift. This is what you want to do. Everybody's going to the graveyard shift. See what Emmy's got in store for you.
The Graveyard Shift Talk Show. See you later, bye. Hi, my name is Emmy, and this is the Graveyard Shift Talk Show, where you can watch me hosting a wide variety of topics: pop culture, anime, gaming, current news and events, comic books, movies, and of course the paranormal genre, which is where our show got our start. In this episode, I take you on a trip to Tampa Bay Comic-Con 2018, a local comic book convention that has become viral in its own regard. In this convention, you can find all kinds of stuff: vendors, artists, writers, even comic book legends. While I was walking around on the convention floor, I saw all kinds of costumes: professional, amateur, you name it. But I also saw professional cameramen. That's right. So while I was going around recording my own videos, I saw some other guys that were doing the same thing. And I had the pleasure and honor of meeting Larry Monet, a retired amateur videographer and photographer. Larry had quite a story to tell, and if you could see for yourself, well, you're about to see it, the rig he had set up is really impressive, to say the least. Larry, can you tell us a little bit about the setup you have here, and how long have you been doing this, sir?
Actually, I've been a photographer since the 60s. I started in Vietnam. When I got out, I worked as a professional, doing mostly the same what professionals do: weddings, portraits, seniors. And then I retired. When I got to be around 65, I just sort of quit photography and have worked as an amateur ever since. To me, being an amateur means being able to do anything you love to do. And I love Comic-Cons. So I come to them. I love the costumes. I love the creativity. I love the people you see here. And like this gentleman doing the interview, you meet a lot of interesting people. So that's what I like to do.
That's wonderful, and I love your setup here. So this is, can you tell us a little about this camera? I know it's a Canon. It's an EOS, or?
Yeah, this is a Canon 5D Mark IV, and it's got two Canon flashes above it. They're all controlled by this little thing on top, the controller, which basically allows me to shoot on an automatic. The flashes, in this kind of a setting, especially shooting costumers, you have to be able to get the shot, get it focused, and get it quick. Usually I spend less than 5 minutes with everybody I shoot. So I need to get good pictures, because everything I do is cut out and put in another background. It's put in something like, for instance, if I shoot a picture of Spider-Man, it's going to be put in an appropriate background for that character. So the edges have to be sharp, I have to have good focus, and that's why I use two light system instead of one on top of the camera.
I like that, and I don't know if you guys can see it, but he has it connected to his backpack here. So then he's got this set up. So then you do professional photography now. If any of the viewing audience would like to book you for, do you do weddings or anything like that?
Actually, no, I don't do anything professional anymore. I just do it for fun. If I see somebody at a con, if you see me here, because I really only do this. I closed my studio a long time ago. And if you see me here, you want me to take a picture, I will. I don't charge anything. I never have. It's strictly an amateur endeavor. And I'll take your picture, and you'll get it when you get it. I just put it up on Facebook. If you like it, I'll send you a high-res example of it. That's how I work. It's just, as I say, it's totally a labor of love. Nothing to make money.
That's wonderful. Larry, it's such a pleasure and honor to meet you,
for
sir.
meeting
You're very welcome, sir, and I hope you get enough rest with that, carrying that around. I can understand. Guys, stay tuned. There's going to be a lot more interviews to come in the Graveyard Shift Talk Show with Emmy. I'll see you around at Tampa Bay Comic-Con 2018. Walking around the convention, you see all kinds of people dressed in all sorts of ways, professional, amateur, but it doesn't really matter because the reason they do it is for fun, and some people also do it for pay. Well, in this particular interview, I interview Rob Tharp and his friends, and, well, let's just have the interview speak for itself. Hi guys, Emmy here again at Tampa Bay Comic-Con 2018, and I've got some pretty impressive cosplayers here that made their own costumes, obviously, and I got Rob, Chloe, and Rose. And so, Rob, you've been doing this for some time now. We met a few years back. Yeah, and now you did this entire getup right here. We'll show you guys the full ensemble. Oh, you put it together. But still, that's very impressive. Same with you, Chloe, and Rose as well, that you did this. So do I really need to tell you guys what characters these are? I think you can pretty Batman, Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy. So, Rob, can you tell us a little bit about how you put this together? How long did it take you?
It took me 2 years to put it together.
2 years. That's unbelievable.
I was just having more problems with the bodysuit than anything.
Wow, and some of the fans out there might be asking, why do cosplayers go to this much detail when they're doing this?
Because we love what we do.
I mean, that's the best answer I've ever heard. What about you, Chloe? Can you tell us a little bit about you being Harley Quinn? Did you make this yourself? Did you put it together? How did it work?
Half of it and put most of it together, but it took at least 3 to 4 years to get everything screen accurate and to what I want.
Okay, good. And now you were telling me, so this gun is 3D printed?
Yes.
That's amazing. Did you do all this yourself?
No, a guy that I was in contact with helped me with it, and he did an amazing job.
Wow, that's awesome. And Rose, can you tell us a little bit about your costume and how long did it take you to make?
Well, originally it was a different Poison Ivy design, and it was really plain and simple, and I got it off of a let go sale real quickly, and I really wanted to do my own design, and I worked with it for an afternoon, and I got it pretty much cranked out in one day. The main part was gluing every individual leaf on, which was really time consuming, and eventually I lost feeling in my fingertips, but it's worth every time I'm wearing it. I absolutely love it.
So, I mean, this isn't a one piece, I mean, you actually glued these on.
Yes, it's a corset. I cut the middle out of it, and I hand glued every single leaf on.
Wow, that's impressive. Now, you guys, I don't know if you can see it, but the detail in her face also, one of the things I like about it is that it actually looks like you're poisoned. Like, I mean, that really adds to it. Now, is this your natural color, or obviously you dyed it?
It's actually a wig. I go for the lace front wigs. It's more natural looking. It blends into the hairline more better. More of the cheap wigs, they have that hard part, and it looks really costumey, and I'm really picky about my appearance, and I want to look good. So I just, I go that extra step, and I always get lace wigs every single time.
Well, I mean, honestly, I'm being serious. I mean, I thought it was your real hair. I mean, I thought, well, maybe she dyed it, but still, I thought it was your real hair. So that's really impressive. So now, Rob, this isn't the only project you have, am I right? Can you tell us a little bit about the other projects you do?
Well, I just did Deathstroke yesterday, which took me 6 months to actually build that one. So, but I only had the weekends to work on it. So.
Let's say someone out there wants to get into what you guys are doing. So, I mean, obviously, there's got to be some kind of investment put in. You got to love what you do. How would you recommend them get started?
Start watching Evil Ted.
Evil Ted.
Yeah, that's where I learned my stuff.
There you go. That's it. Now, I know they're going to be very busy, and I know they're really hot inside their costumes. So I'm going to let them get going. Guys, one thing very important that I want everyone to understand, cosplay does not equal consent. Please, just because you see someone dressed, whatever they're dressed, it doesn't mean you can just go up to them and start hugging them or touching them or leering at them. That's not what it's for. Okay? I want to make that very abundantly clear because these guys are my friends, and a lot of people around here, I'm sorry I get a little emotional, but it's true. A lot of people around here are my friends that do this, and I don't want to hear it because I hear it from them all the time. And please be practice responsibility. So, okay. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Be safe and have a great time. Well, now that I've had enough fun with Batman and his rogues gallery, I wonder what else there is to do around this place. I think I saw some authors around here somewhere. Being in the business as long as I have, I've met all kinds of different people and all kinds of different professions. One of them is Elise Kova, and Elise is really an accomplished writer in her own regard, and a USA Today best-selling author. Here's my interview with her. Hi everybody, Emmy here at Tampa Bay Comic-Con 2018 once again with the Graveyard Shift Talk Show. Pretty sure you guys recognize this lovely lady next to me. I don't recognize her, but no, I'm kidding.
No, I don't recognize you either.
I know, right? Who am I? I don't know.
How did we, whose booth is this?
I don't know. I just saw it empty and I thought you might be cool sitting in front of this.
Cool.
know,
Yeah,
right?
no, I'm glad we're doing this.
So this is obviously USA Today best-selling author Elise Kova and author of the Wishes Saga. This is the Arrow Awakens and the Loom Saga
and
Wish Quartet.
Yeah.
So Elise is a phenomenal writer, accomplished author, a very dear friend of mine. I'm very honored to say, and I just wanted so talk to me a little bit about you as an author. So how did you tell me a little bit about these stories and what you're working on now?
So my debut was Arrow Awakens. That came out in 2015. And I think 2 years ago when we did this, actually when we first met, we talked. I just finished that one. So
and I think you were going to.
Yeah. And so these are out now. This one finishes in September, and it's funny. I'm actually returning back to the Arrow Awakens world and finally writing a long planned sequel series for that one. So that's something I've announced, but I don't have any other details yet that I can announce with it. So I'm waiting on a couple things. But Loom is
Benjamin Franklin. Perhaps give some details.
No Benjamins needed, just the camera off
okay,
and
the
like
camera
a sworn to
off.
secrecy.
Gotcha.
But all of my series are really different, and that's been something that's been really fun to explore, is that they all have some kind of magical, fantastical element, but each one of them is different. So the Loom Saga is a dark, gritty fantasy. People link it to Game of Thrones or Mistborn. It has some steampunk elements. Whereas the Wish Quartet, I've seen people liken it more to like Warcross or whatnot, and that's more of a new adult, so there's some sexiness in there, and it's an urban fantasy set in a near future alternate reality, so it kind of has that paranormal romance grounding in a world that looks a lot like ours.
That's great. And just also in the Loom Saga right here, guys, there is a little bit of sexiness in there too. It's kind of implied with the whole with the imbibing. Yeah. That's right, I read it. And I finished reading Alchemist. I'm getting through Dragons of Nova, which you blew me away, by the way. I did not know you were going to take us to Nova. And I also did not know you were going to take actually, I don't want to spoil that. Let's just say she gives you a very detailed tour through the world of Loom, and it's awesome. So
it's honestly, Loom was one of my favorite fantasy worlds.
I could see that. And so tell me a little bit about so I noticed you said new adult, and I know we've had this conversation before. Yeah. What because I know there's a lot of aspiring writers out there that follow us on Facebook and the Twitterverse, and that want to be writers. So what is new adult? How does it compare to young adult or even, I don't know, fantasy as a genre?
Yeah, so new adult is kind of this thing that's sort of started to rise up, and a lot of if you're wondering what it is, you're in good company, because a lot of booksellers and publishers are also still trying to figure.
New, right?
Yeah, it is fairly new. You started to see it in the past year or so, or not year or so, but the past, I would say, 5 years. So the biggest distinction. Let's start with young adult and kind of explain what it's not. Young adult features protagonists usually in their teens, with, of course, subject matter that is generally appropriate for teens to read, and I use that term loosely. But it's also focuses on finding oneself, and you can't say just the age of the protagonist determines the genre, because I always use this as my example. If that's the case, then Game of Thrones would be young adult.
Well, look at
because
look at Harry Potter.
Yeah.
I mean, my wife and I are longest fans of Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be a kid.
Exactly.
Right.
So young adult, it's the focus is fighting against authority figures and finding yourself, and those are kind of the central conflicts of the story of a young adult story. Whereas adult, which is Loom falls in the adult category, your protagonist knows who they are, they know what they want, and the conflict rests outside of that. New adult is this slice that's slowly been expanding. It originally started, I want to say, in contemporary romance about college age kids that was still centered around some of the themes of young adults of coming of age and finding yourself, but had a little bit older protagonists, so maybe knew a little bit more who they were and what they wanted, and definitely kind of the sexiness factor is I think a key to the new adult genre.
Okay, so that's good. Yeah, and and guys, all of you out there that have been giving me these messages about how do I get started as an author, how do I make my book sell so well. I think Elise will agree. There's no set recipe for it. I mean, definitely there's an investment. Can you give us a little bit of your idea about that?
Trust me, if there was like a magic formula, we would all be using it. Yeah. And we would use it for every single book. There's definitely an investment. There's definitely an element, and this is what I tell everyone. You have to define what success means to you. So I know people who are, and I know people who go into publishing where they're just like, I want to write a book, and that's all I want to do. And I want to say I wrote a book. It's out in the world. I don't care if my 3 family members and 2 best friends buy it, and that's it. That's what success is to them, and that's great. That's one publishing path. Other people are, I want to see it in Barnes & Noble. That's what I want. That's what success means to me. And so, and I know other authors who are like, I want to make money. I want this to be my job. I want this to pay the bills. And once you define what success means to you, then once you have a clear vision of that, then your publishing path becomes more clear as to the best route to get there.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that. I mean, definitely, and it's for those of you that are wondering, like what she just said about making this your full-time job, don't expect that right away. And I mean, you might still have to go and sling burgers, and there's no shame in that. Go ahead.
I know a lot of I've met many authors who kept their day jobs, even though they're New York Times best-selling authors who have an incredibly successful career, but they choose to keep their day jobs, 1, because they like them, 2, because there's no benefits when you're an author. There's no guaranteed salary. What? Yeah. There's no guaranteed salary. And so there are perks to keeping your day job.
That's great. Elise, I don't want to take any more time away from you. I want your fans to come and enjoy you being here. So you're going to be here all weekend?
Yes, or until I sell out. That's kind of my usual caveat. But
in that case, I hope you sell out. I want to thank you so much. Oh, go over here. What am I doing? Get over here. Oh, thank you. Guys, come and see Elise Kova. Please tell her I sent you. And, see, I got to get out of the way. Here comes her fans. I'll see you guys later. Stay tuned. Creator, writer, artist, designer, and entrepreneur with over 5,000 comic book credits to his name, Bob Layton was also at the convention. Now, some of you might have actually recognized Bob from a previous interview I did at Gasparilla Film Festival this past year. So I saw him at the convention, and I approached him, and I was so lucky that he had some time to chat with me. Ladies and gentlemen, I am here with legend Bob Layton.
Oh, my.
And, I mean, this is actually... Well, you are. Oh. Did you not know that?
Well, no. I told you one time I asked Dick Giordano, my mentor, because when they started doing that after the first Iron Man movie, they started calling me legendary Bob Layton. And I go, what does that mean when they do that? And he says, it means you're old.
Well, I haven't gotten there yet, so maybe I shouldn't worry too much. I guess.
I get worried if they start calling you a legend.
Calling me a legend, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So those of you guys know that I've met Bob before. It's been a while. We had some fun over at Gasparilla Film Festival, but
I still haven't seen the thing with Jimmy.
Oh,
yet.
I'm gonna send it to you.
My best friend is James Burns, the Call of Duty Black Ops actor.
Yeah.
And we kind of goofed up your interview.
No. It was perfection. It was perfection. So for the very few that may necessarily need to know, why don't you give them an idea of how you've contributed to comics in general?
Well, in general,
or maybe the comic book industry.
Well, you want to talk about how I've tried to change the industry?
Yes, or do that. Yes.
being one of the co-founders of Valiant. You know, it was the first independent comic book company to actually compete with Marvel and DC.
There you go.
We went from a startup to being the third largest publisher in North America. That was pretty much an accomplishment, let me tell you.
Yeah,
A lot
I
of
would say
hard
so.
work. Yeah, I put myself in the hospital twice from just exhaustion. But that's what you do. But and Valiant created a whole bunch of marketing tools and things that are still used to this day. And Valiant's still around. You know, in fact, I'm getting ready to head to South Africa for the filming of Bloodshot.
You were telling me about that.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for the go codes from Sony, and because they got me, they should start filming August 6th, which is Monday. So I'm in standby mode, waiting, and then I'm supposed to go over and be on the set. So that's going to be fun. I'll get to meet Vin Diesel. You know, it's like. And watch my characters come to life. That's going to be awesome.
That's great. I mean, this is a perfect opportunity for something like that, too.
But with Iron Man and now Ant-Man, you saw Ant-Man and the Wasp, right? Where I mean, that was like a Bob Layton movie because they had Ant-Man in it, it had the Ghost who I created, and
how was that to see something that you created?
well, you know, what was really great. There's a video on my Facebook page. Hannah John Kamen, who played the Ghost, she was asking one of the people handlers there. She goes, I want to meet Bob Layton. So they came and got me, and I went down and I talked to her. There's the videos there, and she was like so concerned that I was okay with her performance and the fact that they had made the Ghost female. And I'm like, no, honey, no, you kidding? You know. And besides, she was dazzling. Okay, you know, I mean,
she really
she's
was.
a stunning woman and smart and just terrific and sweet as she could be. But she was so kind in her words and whatever, and I said I haven't seen the movie yet, so I'll tell you when we get out of here, you know. But she was great in it, you know.
Great.
And what I think is interesting is they kind of groomed her at the end to be. I shouldn't say that because.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Cause to be more of a good guy, because I think they're going to use her again probably when they put all the female Marvel characters together.
Well, yeah, I mean, especially what Thanos did, I'm sure they have to do something there.
And every time one of my characters shows up, I get paid too.
There you go. that can't be bad.
I like that too.
That can't be a bad thing.
Well, yeah, and Birds of Prey starts production in January with the Huntress, who I co-created as well.
Awesome.
So I mean, it's a hell of a year. And since we talked last, we are in the final stages of putting together a deal to make my first feature film, The Helix. We'll be hopefully shooting in Stockholm in March.
Wow.
You know,
so World Traveler.
It's exciting. It's exciting.
It is. That's wonderful.
It is my year in terms of comics to films. This is Bob's year. Yeah,
that's
no
wonderful.
doubt about it.
So you're here at Tampa Comic Con the whole weekend?
Yeah, you know, I live here. You know, to be honest with you, I'm here today because family members all want to come to the show. so I come to the show so they can all come to the show for free. You know, because I have a huge everything on my ex-wife's side. So I have a whole clan of those. They're here today. And then my clan comes tomorrow.
Yeah.
So you know, and all my grandchildren are total like comic geeks. I mean,
that's great.
So they get to hang out and go do all this stuff, and I take them back to meet some of their favorite celebs and stuff. So it's just a fun time. It's a family outing for me.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Well, I want to thank you so much for taking the time. It's always such a pleasure.
It's always great to see you, brother.
Oh, thank you, my friend. Thank you so much, guys. Stay tuned and thanks
keep
for watching.
him.
Thank you. Wow, what an endorsement. Thanks, guys, and I'll see you on the Graveyard Shift Talk Show later. Walking around Tampa Bay Comic Con, you often have to pause and kind of reflect at all the weird and wonderful costumes you run into. Well, as you can see by this next interview, I could not pass up this group of crazy, kooky characters. Enjoy this one, guys. Guys, here we are, Graveyard Shift Talk Show, and I mean, I don't know, this is like the perfect group for that. So, who wants to tell me about your group?
Who does?
Who wants to talk about it?
There he is.
Right here. Okay, so why don't you tell us about your group?
So we're a haunted trail in Plant City. We have three haunted trails. Each one's anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes, okay? We also, new this year, we've got an escape room. Okay, you heard that here first. And we also are doing laser tag. Okay?
Oh, laser tag!
5 attractions, okay? You're not going to find that anywhere else in the area. We've got some unique stuff you're not going to see anywhere else in the area. some unique characters, unique costumes. Sir Henry's Haunted Trail.
Sir Henry's Haunted
We're
Trail.
here at Tampa Bay Comic Con on Saturday. We got $5 off flyers. We're open weekends in October.
And
Free.
this is yes, it's in 2837 South Frontage Road in Plant City.
Literally, you get off the interstate, exit 22, and there we are. You can't get any easier than that, okay? Any easier.
Did you guys make these yourselves?
Well, we were...
Kind of, sort of.
I was buried in this.
Oh, you were buried in it. I see what you mean. So, yeah. I love this. They don't talk at all. But they eat, though. They eat flesh, though.
They kill. Torture.
I love it. Guys, this is fantastic. I'm not going to keep any more. Okay, I better get out of here before my head becomes separated from my body. Thanks for your time.
Bro.
See you later. Bye. Phew, I survived that one. All right, what other mayhem can I get myself into? Hey, what's that over there? Oh, look at that. It's the clang, clang, clang of the trolley to get me out of Tampa Bay Comic Con 2018. See you guys next time on the Graveyard Shift Talk Show. $20 for a trolley ride? Judy Garland better be on board.
Well, I'm doing just great, and it's so, I can't tell you how delightful to be reconnected with my friend, you wild and crazy guy.